when you start looking at the burden of disease in South Africa, it is driven by HIV, but with it is also your non-communicable diseases, diabetes, cancers, and cardiovascular. And we are dealing with a combination of that is actually affecting the services that can be rendered by your hospitals and by the public health sector. So the main thing is to find solutions that is applicable for South Africa, that is relevant to South Africa, not just being sort of foisted on us from overseas and say that this is where we need to go. So the main quest that they're looking is how do you bring solutions to rural clinics that will actually affect the life of South Africans. The Department of Health is actually in need of solutions that can be applied at clinic level. In the quest for example, for the National Health Insurance System, to put that, they're looking at the ideal clinic. So you need to see what is needed within that ideal clinic. So what tools can we from the research community actually provide for them? And this is what is being driven, the research agenda that we are funding from within the bioeconomy strategy as such. What we are doing at the moment with regard to health innovation in South Africa is we've actually created the Strategic Health Innovation Partnerships at the South African Medical Research Council, and the whole idea is to look for products and services that can assist the Department of Health in service delivery. We are looking at potential HIV or TB vaccines, but we're also looking at using your mobile technologies to provide information to doctors or to the patients. So it's a wide range, but also at the same time we're looking at what are the latest technologies that's being internationally around, and to what extent it can be made applicable to South Africa. So one of the things we are funding is precision medicine, where you start really looking at how to personalize medicine that it can actually be applicable. Although it is sort of very much driven from a European or American agenda, what we are looking is how do you Africanize it, how do you make it actually applicable to the public health services within Africa. And so it's the whole time is to sort of see what is out there, how can you adapt, but also what unique abilities have we got that we can turn into new services for the Department of Health.
Well, the background goes back to 2012, early 2013, when the Department of Science and Technology were looking for a home for their health innovation program. It was really based around the DST's desire to use this newly established bioeconomy strategy, and in the health sector specifically, to partner with the organization that really does health and the nation's health as a priority. So from a strategic point of view, it was a good fit to the two organizations. It was unique from the point of view that it was two different government departments effectively collaborating in one area, and it was pretty much the first of its kind on the African continent as far as we were aware. So that has really grown since 2013. Early 2013, the formal launch of it was in April 2013, and here we are in 2018 with approximately 50 product development projects that we have worked on. Scaling that has grown from sort of seed funding of approximately 25 to 30 million rand a year, well over 100 million rand a year if you add in all the different partnerships involving product development with the DST, the Gates Foundation, who were early adopters of the program. So it really grew from there. So we have under the SHIP umbrella, the Strategic Health Innovation Partnerships, we have, as I say, approximately 50 programs which link about a third for drugs, and that is either early drug discovery through to clinical trials using new formulations of drugs for African specific needs, through to vaccine R&D type projects where the whole idea is to understand how we can design and improve on vaccines, particularly for TB, and medical devices, M-Health, diagnostics, also approximately about a third of the program. So that's how it kind of broke down. But in addition to the start with the DST and the MRC, this is just one of several programs now between the two entities. The SAPRIN program and the DST's infrastructure capacity development program is now being hosted within the MRC, and there's a number of other elements and partnerships that the DST have asked the MRC to lead in the health space.
Well, one of our flagship programs is the discovery of a malaria drug. Malaria is not such a huge problem in South Africa, but it's actually a huge problem in Africa. So one of the projects we've been funding for the last 7-8 years is specifically development of the South African developed malaria drug, and that is now going into your clinical phases. And those are the kind of things that we're not in isolation. We are playing with in Africa and how we can assist our neighbors. We have to look at your HIV and TB. That is still very, very important, and we have to look at what will make that difference that can actually tip that we can reduce the number of infections. So it's extremely urgent, but then you also need to look, we do have a number of people on HIV that are HIV positive that's going to be on long-term treatment. So one of the things that we need to look at is what can we discover within South Africa that can contribute to a HIV cure? So those are also the kind of questions that we are looking at. Yes, there's futuristic science involved in it, but there's also the reality of we need to find those solutions, and we need to look at it within our own abilities as such.